Joining me to assess the situation, political commentator, former senior advisor to Presidents Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan, and author of the new book, The Greatest Comeback: How Richard Nixon rose from defeat to create the new majority. It's our good friend Patrick J. Buchanan. Pat, welcome back to America's Forum.
Morning, J.D.
Well, doesn't feel like morning in America, or maybe if you inserted a U there. What do border hawks do with guys like Pete Sessions and John Boehner seemingly wanting to do business with the Democrats and moving forward on amnesty?
Well, I think what they have to do is wake up to the reality that who really runs the Republican Party and who really controls it are the people the big business, the corporate types, the people who make the contributions and the money. They want an amnesty. They want this off the table. They want an amnesty for all the businesses that have hired illegals. They want the Republican Party basically to fight a good fight and then go into the tank on this. And that's what the Republican Party, I believe, J.D., is going to do. No one suggests that we run around right now and have the immigration authorities pick up nannies and deport them across the border. But the idea that we're going along with an executive amnesty for 5 million people authorized by the President of the United States, and the illegal act where the President himself says he will not execute the laws of the United States and in violation of law will give benefits to lawbreakers, I think it's a capitulation, a cave-in of the Republican Party.
And so what happens to the Republican Party? Does the GOP go the way of the Whigs, or will conservative grassroots recapture the party?
Well, I think in off-year elections where the turnout is not heavy and the Republicans have done an outstanding job of, if you will, gerrymandering the country to their own benefit, I think they'll do well. But at the presidential level, where you've got 1 million new immigrants legally coming in every year and an untold number illegally, I think, and most of them from minorities that vote 70% Democratic, I think there's an inevitability that the Republican Party is indeed going the way of the Whigs, that at the presidential level, after around 2020, it becomes virtually impossible to win the presidency of the United States in the absence of some kind of cataclysm.
So the Republicans have basically said, well, we got to get this off the table, at least the leadership and the establishment, a very different situation involving the grassroots. This, of course, the real hot button issue, but it's part of an overall spending agreement that Republicans in Congress are trying to come up with. We've got a minute left. How would you describe John Boehner's leadership? Is this a complete abdication of the grassroots, or is this a dose of realpolitik reaching out to have minority Democrats pass a spending bill to assuage the White House?
Well, I think what you're getting from John Boehner, that he sees what for him is the handwriting on the table, and he's trying to manage a decorous retreat by the Republican Party on these issues. But, you ask yourself, when and where will the Republican Party stand and fight? And I think after the so-called failure of the shutdown of the government, which the Republicans did not do, the Democrats refused to pass the bill and the president to sign it. I think there's a real sense inside, I think, the Republican leadership that they can't win these fights.
Wow, that's a tough thing. I have to stop you right there, Pat. America's Forum continues after this.